All right, and welcome everybody to North American Tournament 2025. My name is It's Pigeon, and I will be your commentator here today for this wonderful match here. The final match of this group in Group A. We have players Rykic and FUNKYKONG, and this is a very important matchup here. This match is going to ultimately determine who moves on in this group. This is one of the highest contested groups in remaining in this tournament so far. We have Boshiman 741, Jackson, Rykic, and FUNKYKONG in this group. Boshiman, of course, winning 3-0. Will be moving on, guaranteed, but Rykic is at 1-1, FUNKYKONG 0-2, and Jackson 1-2. The point differential is 8-point wins for Rykic, and 7 losses, making a difference of 1. For Jackson, he is currently in third at 1-2 with the 11-point wins and 6 differential. And for FUNKYKONG, he's actually got a chance to move out of this group stage. If he's able to beat Rykic here, no matter the scoreline, he will ultimately net the most points won out of these final 3 players. So if FUNKYKONG is able to win this one match, despite being 0-2 right now, will move out of this group stage here in Group A. But for the time being, we are going to get into picks and bans. It did look like Rykic opted for second ban. I didn't see who was first pick, but first ban is going to be the double time 3. Getting out of here for FUNKYKONG, choosing to get rid of Soleil. Seen that one played multiple times by FUNKYKONG, and bidding that against a player like Rykic makes a lot of sense. Rykic going to be getting rid of the reading low AR hidden pick here on the hidden 2. And it is going to be an immediate pick into the Hard Rock 2 here for Rykic. So looks like FUNKYKONG chose second pick, and this is going to be a pretty quick one, I do think, as both players are prepared, ready, and getting right into it a little bit quicker. This is a 1v1 tournament, not necessarily used to that personally, so are going to get right into the swing of things here on this precision pick in the Hard Rock. Got a little bit of tricky cuts here. Both players hitting it. First miss going to be on the side of FUNKYKONG though. Rykic going to fall shortly after, so that is going to help negate the score lead for the time being, but as of right now, accuracy advantage is favoring Rykic, who you do expect to be picking more into these Hard Rocks, more into the double times. Do see a bit of a chain miss coming out from Rykic, but that is not going to be the end of the world. Slight score advantage here for FUNKYKONG, about 20,000 points and climbing off the recovery. Only about a quarter of the way through the snap. This one is a little bit on the longer side. But if Rykic's able to stabilize, and FUNKYKONG finds some more misses, which he does indeed do here on this PI section, it's going to help negate some of that score lead. And now Rykic, accuracy is back in form now, about matching, actually ahead of FUNKYKONG now on the accuracy, so that is going to switch the score lead over very quickly here towards Rykic's favor now as we pass the halfway point in the map. And players do see just how incredibly close this one is. Getting into the PI section now. Any miss from either of these two players will very much decide who gets this point. So far as Rykic on the stronger recovery, 400 combo finally ends up dropping it. Going to be finding some more misses as well, but FUNKYKONG holding strong through this KI section, finally ends up dropping their combo. So now 28,000 points is going to be the separating factor, but still could be plenty of time left for FUNKYKONG to recover here as Rykic continues to find chain miss after chain miss. It's only hurting his score, but for the time being, it is going to be favoring Rykic only ever so slightly. 34,000 points is the separating factor here. And it's gonna have to come down to the spinner. It actually could do it, but no, it's not gonna be enough here for FUNKYKONG, and Rykic will be taking the first point of this match. Very, very short one. And a very tense one at that. Very close. So Good on Funky Kong to keep things as close as he was able to do so, but I do think that for Funky Kong, the pick strategy is probably going to be leaning more towards the gimmick. Rykic is a kind of player who, well, is not a stranger to gimmick by any means, much more heavily favors mechanics-based picks, something like the Hard Rock 2s, and you can probably see something like the DT1, DT2 getting picked out by Rykic, but we are going to go into the pit and 1 here for Funky Kong, so this is going to be somewhat the consistency map here. And, yeah, I mean, Funky Kong picking towards their strengths. 0.54 stars on this one, and 9.5. GLHFs are coming out here as we get into map number 2. Kind of rapid firing here. Why these two players not really taking any time in between the maps to get right into it. But here we go. This map kind of tells you all what it's about right at the beginning here. So it's a very mechanics-based map. It's got some streams, some accelerating, decelerating stuff going on here, but for the most part, just aim consistency is the name of the game, as both players looking pretty comfortable so far. Slight accuracy advantage here for Funky Kong on the SS. Rykic only dropping down to about 98.5 so far. Here we go into some of the tricky aim sections. Both players hitting the first one. But we're about to get into the PI as Funky Kong finds the first miss of this map. Both players hitting the stream. That is good for Funky Kong to try to get things going for them, but for the time being, it's going to be Rykic with this aura advantage here. Off the early miss from Funky Kong. Despite accuracy advantage favoring Funky Kong here. Rykic makes it out of this PI section unscathed. Looking very comfortable, does finally find a first miss for Rykic. Gonna be on a jump section, so that is gonna be 40,000 points now, starting to close towards Funky Kong off that accuracy advantage too. Gonna close rather quickly here. Good on Rykic to hold for as long as he did, however, finding the miss about halfway through the map is going to ultimately cap their score out at about 600-ish thousand. 620,000 or so. Funky Kong now gonna have the score lead switch over towards their favor here. Ends up missing right before the second PI, just similar story as we saw right before the first PI. Did find the miss initially, so it's gonna negate the score lead and actually switches the score over to Rykic, but Rykic ends up dropping here on the second PI here. Now it's back to Funky Kong for the time being, but ever so slightly. Actually, take that back. It's going to be Funky Kong finding chain misses left and right here. Rykic going to help negate that score lead, though. It's going to slow it down. 26,000 is the score gap here for these two players, so anything could happen. Gonna need to see some more misses from Rykic if Funky Kong wants a way back into this, though. As on the accuracy lead, what was in favor of Funky Kong for the entirety of the match is actually favoring Rykic. Take that back. It's going to be a full chain miss from Rykic going into the last PI here of this map. Funky Kong going to be trading though, so it is going to help negate that. But it's only 12,000 points, and I do think Funky Kong can bring this one back, but really need to help for some misses here from Rykic if Funky Kong wants a way back into this one. And looks like Funky Kong might be giving up a breakpoint very early on here into Rykic on this 10-1. Yeah, 14,000? Too little here. Too little, too late. Actually goes down to about 11,000 on the ending section with the accuracy drop from Rykic, but 7 misses to 13, and that's going to be a very hard-fought point for Rykic here. Back-to-back, a very close match so far, and both of these players are very prepared for all of the maps here that we've seen so far, and I do think that this is going to go the distance. But for the time being, Rykic feeling pretty comfy here on the breakpoint that they have just netted themselves on that hidden one, and as far as where they go, I do expect them to jump into more mechanics. I do think that their skill set heavily favors in terms of like double times. I think they're going to continue, maybe might see some hard rocks come out from Rykic, but I do think double time is going to be the option for them for the most part. Oh, but it's actually going to be the Nomad 5, and that's interesting. I've seen Rykic, particularly in the United States Cup this year, as a player for, I believe, Massachusetts, and there is a AR5 map in the USC Nomad pool this year that I was surprised to see Rykic playing for, and he ended up putting up, like, it was like 500,000 or something on it. So Rykic is no stranger to this style of map. However, I would have expected something like this to be picked by FUNKYKONG. That being said, the only time we've seen this map get played by FUNKYKONG was, I believe, against Jackson in their match earlier in the group stage. So, and the highest score was from FUNKYKONG, but it was only 200,000, and this map is very brutal. This is a heavy memorization pick here, on top of being a low AR reading map. So this is really going to be telling as to which player is more comfortable here, as already on the beginning section is going to be FUNKYKONG getting a slight lead here. Not misreading the beginning section, but does end up misreading the part right after that, so despite the misses from Rykic, it's going to keep things very close, very early on here for this one. The name of the game is Overlaps and Uncomfy Aim Patterns for these two players. Getting into the first PI section now. This is kind of where the memorization really shines through. Accuracy is looking a little worse for wear for either player. Rykic hitting the triple pattern. FUNKYKONG just misreading it, unfortunately, and that is going to give the score lead back over to Rykic for the time being. And yeah, it does just appear to be an unfortunate early miss here from Rykic, and a good recovery so far on this map. I think was in course safe last year, if I'm not mistaken. So these players maybe not so unfamiliar with it. FUNKYKONG does end up dropping some more combo here. Looks like memorization is starting to get away from them. Maybe a little bit of reading issues here for FUNKYKONG. This is on the longer side of maps as well, so Rykic for the time being looking really strong, and so far this is the biggest score lead that we've seen for either of these two players in this match. As Rykic is continuing here on this major recovery. 700 combo is going to be much too large for FUNKYKONG to get back into this one, and this is most certainly going to be a point for Rykic. Finally ends up going down on the recovery. Was not the full combo, but more than enough to get Rykic the point here. 200,000 points separating these two players, as both players continuing to find misses, but FUNKYKONG much more so. And already going to be topping FUNKYKONG's score in the previous match against Jackson earlier this weekend, so that is going to be a net positive for FUNKYKONG, but ultimately not getting the point here. And Rykic starting this one off strong, 3-0. What were two extremely close first points for Rykic turns into a very one-sided performance here on this Nomad 5. So well done to Rykic to be able to get this third point on the board. getting them that much closer to victory. Rykic hoping for a clean sweep here in this match. They are able to do that, they will most certainly move on out of this group stage. I think either one of these players, whichever one ends up winning, ultimately will get out of the group stage, as currently Jackson has played all 3 of his matches and is tied for point win with Rykic. So if Rykic is able to win, Rykic will move out of the group. If FUNKYKONG wins, FUNKYKONG will get out of the group. So we will see what ends up happening, but it turned around very easily here. If FUNKYKONG's able to get a hold of their footing and get themselves back into this one, the player that we've seen was able to do so in their previous matches. We'll see if they're able to do so now. So we await their second pick here. Oh, and it looks like they did already pick. It's going to be the No 1-4. And in terms of how good they've done so far on this map for their previous matches, this is one of their best maps so far on the No 1-4. I do believe they dropped, I think it was like a 900,000 against Bashi Man, and like a 700, 650-ish thousand against Jackson. So very consistent, good scores here from FUNKYKONG, going a little more heavily into the tech here. I do think this is a good direction for them to lean into here. GHS are coming out. Buckets are prepared for this one. A little bit of a banger. We got Ducky on the mapping here for this Psyche song, Still in My Heart. This one, I imagine, is going to be Slider Tech. I'm not personally familiar with the map on its own, but I am familiar with the song and many of the various other maps for the song. There are quite a plenty, and yeah, this one does appear to be some Slider Tech here. Both players hitting the initial accelerating stream. Now we get into the real meat and potatoes here. Still going stronger, both players. Down goes FUNKYKONG, first to fall. It's going to give a slight advantage to Rykic here. 96.3% versus the 93.8, climbing up to 94 now for FUNKYKONG on the accuracy. So with the combo advantage, it's going to give Rykic a little bit of leeway here. 30,000 points is going to be the separating factor for the time being. I think FUNKYKONG is going to be able to get back into this, but it's just a matter of when or where will Rykic find their misses, if they do find any at all. This one is going to be a bit of a longer map here. I do think that FUNKYKONG definitely can get back into this, but really need to kind of put their foot on the gas here. Look at that. I mean, the spinner alone is 10,000 points, but they were able to claw back just off the spinner, so Rykic only spinning 17,000, FUNKYKONG getting almost up to 30,000, and Rykic finally falls in this first KI section here. Halfway through the map, there's plenty of time for FUNKYKONG to get back into this one. They have to continue to hold on to their combo. Oh wait, no, that was a Banjo miss from Rykic. No, Rykic is still going strong actually, and FUNKYKONG ends up missing. That was not a Banjo miss, and down goes FUNKYKONG's recovery. Rykic still holding onto the FC despite the low accuracy, is doing wonders for him. Rykic just holding through some of the hardest sections of the map. And FUNKYKONG's just not able to get anything put together. This is looking really, really bad for FUNKYKONG here. what has been one of FUNKYKONG's best maps so far in this tournament throughout the entirety of the group stage is starting to look like a bit of a blunder against Rykic, who is just looking so comfortable on this full combo still. But finally ends up dropping. No way that was a Bancho miss. Definitely a miss aim here from Rykic. It won't be the full combo, but 610,000 versus 400,000 here for Rykic is very huge. Not going to be necessarily as big of a score difference as we saw on the previous map here, the Nomad 5, but still a little bit of a blunder for FUNKYKONG, and just going to start things off 0-4 down, and Rykic getting to have the next pick is a very scary situation to be, especially with your tournament life on the line here for FUNKYKONG. Not a good spot to be in by any means. Rykic looking so strong. Strong on the mechanics, strong on tech, strong on aim, strong on everything right now. I mean, what can you do against this guy when he is playing like this? It's hard to say. But FUNKYKONG's got to get something put together in order to get themselves rolling, get themselves on the board even. Yeah, as Rykic says, it's not over till it's over. FUNKYKONG might be beating themselves up a little bit, and, you know, that's alright to do. You definitely can be a little bit hard on yourself, especially when you've been performing differently on some of these picks that we've seen throughout the prior matches of this weekend, but ultimately it's a day-by-day kind of thing, you know? If you're just not feeling it on a certain day, there's no harm in like giving yourself a little pat on the shoulder and being like, hey, it's okay, it's alright. Are gonna go into the Hard Rock 1 here for Rykic, opting for more mechanics. It's the name of the game. I do think FUNKYKONG can still get back into this. Needs to really get something going though, sooner rather than later. Joy just come out. Map number 5 on the way. This is going to be Hard Rock consistency. Absolute banger. Yudu Fua Jukai Girl. Hard not to get excited on a song like this. Players hitting the initial jumps. Awkward timing on those sliders, still hitting them with relatively good accuracy. It's going to be FUNKYKONG coming out of that with the higher accuracy on the SS. Get a slight score advantage just off of that. But Rykic's recovered their accuracy, sitting about just below 99%. Well, accuracy really hasn't been the name of the game here, and this one has it. It's really come down to the combos. And this is a shorter one, too. So any combo break from either of these two players will be very detrimental. Finally, down goes the SS for FUNKYKONG, but still holding on to the combo. Where both players, 12,000 points, 15,000 now, separating these two, and almost missing on the doubles was Rykic. So that was very... could have been very unfortunate for Rykic, but still holding strong onto the combo is all that matters here. There's plenty of time to bring it back. For the time being, FUNKYKONG is in the driver's seat, looking confident as ever. Finally, the first miss comes through, and it is going to be for FUNKYKONG, and that's going to be an immediate score shift over towards Rykic as FUNKYKONG finds yet another miss here before the second PI. Halfway through the map, it's going to cap his score pretty heavily, and in order for FUNKYKONG to get back into this one, we're going to need to see a miss from Rykic much sooner than later, especially on a map as short as this one. We are getting into solo, and Rykic's still going strong here on the full combo. Not looking to give up any room, any space for FUNKYKONG to get back into this, and I don't know if there's going to be enough time now. Does Rykic hit this pattern? No! Ends up dropping on the jump pattern at the final part of the solo. Very unfortunate ... here, smoked out from Rykic, but think at the end of the day, 150,000 points is going to be much too big of a difference for FUNKYKONG to be able to come claw back into. And just like that, as quick as the match has started, we're already 5-0 in favor of Rykic at match point here. FUNKYKONG's tournament life on the line right now. Despite some good scores, too. I mean, it's going to be about 580,000, I think, here for FUNKYKONG. Close enough. Yeah, like 570, 565k for FUNKYKONG versus 720k on Rykic. And yeah, Rykic is just popping off. Look at that. One miss. Lower accuracy, but it's the comboing that matters here in this 1v1 situation. And Rykic's just looking so comfortable, so confident on every skill set. Only one more map here, and Rykic just gets to move forward in this group stage very handily. FUNKYKONG's got to get something rolling, something put together. Tiebreaker is required in order for FUNKYKONG to make it out of this group stage now. There is no more leeway. Being at match point. It's not over till it's over. Nomon 3, potentially the final map of this match. Will FUNKYKONG be able to get something working? That is the question. I'm gonna go with some alt here. I believe this is Actually, I am very familiar with this map, so this is going to be the heavy alt pick here for this week's group stage. And FUNKYKONG's got to get something going, or else this one's going to be over much faster than maybe anticipated. Rykic only needs 1 point to close this one out. Will he be able to do it? This one's a longer map. It's 4 minutes in length. We got snap alt here. And so far, FUNKYKONG going to be the first of all. It's going to give a very early advantage to Rykic here. Accuracy actually in favor of Rykic for the first time early on in this map. Only ever so slightly. So holding on to the full combo is going to give a slight advantage here to Rykic. No one misses from FUNKYKONG just yet, but really just has to hold on to everything that he's able to, as we've seen Rykic just able to hold on to so much combo throughout this match. FUNKYKONG just not able to match, ultimately. Oh, and down goes FUNKYKONG once again, but finally trade comes out here from Rykic. Won't be a massive combo, but 30,000 points is going to be the separating factor for the time being, as FUNKYKONG finds yet another miss here on this KI section. Still struggling to maintain any form of combo. And misses on the back and forth section. A little bit tilted over that. It's not the end of the world. There's still time to get back into this one, but down 50,000 points is it's pretty rough here on a 1v1 situation here for FUNKYKONG. Still half the map remaining, a little bit more than half the map. I do think FUNKYKONG can get this one back, but has to get something rolling right now. Rykic's gotta find some more misses, or else this is gonna be very bad for FUNKYKONG. Into the second KI. More drops coming out from FUNKYKONG. Finding some misses on some of the aim sections is a little bit unfortunate, but still no trade from Rykic, who is looking so strong here. FUNKYKONG still continuing to struggle to put any combo together here. And this one might already be over. I hate to call it this early on. There's still more than a third left of the map, but down goes Rykic finally on the recovery. 640-ish combo. And just Still though, 110,000 points to claw back here for FUNKYKONG. I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it. Especially with this massive break here. Gonna close it down to about a quarter of a map remaining now. He knows what needs to be done. He has to lock in. 107,000 points. But no, it's gonna be FUNKYKONG to be dropping here. And that's most certainly gonna do it. If you can't hold on to the combo at the very end, there's no way for getting it back into this one, especially with Rykic hitting that difficult stream section into the aim section. And yeah, Rykic very handily closes this one out 6-0. An extremely volatile group, and Rykic going to move forward out of the group stage here in NAT this year. So well done to Rykic. Unfortunate for FUNKYKONG. The scoreline might be 0-3 in the group stage, but ultimately still looking really solid through all the matches, so. Yeah, just unfortunate. Will not be getting out of this very tough group stage here for FUNKYKONG. A group is going to be closed out. Rykic and Bashiman are going to be moving forward. Jackson and FUNKYKONG knocked out. GG, well played. As far as upcoming matches go, it looks like I am being notified that there are no real upcoming matches that are going to be streamed until 0 UTC. That's going to be Rimmer versus Pez. So look for the stream announcement for that once this one is over. But yeah, that's going to do it. So much everybody for tuning in, and we will be back later on tonight here, 0 UTC.